Yo, what's up guys? It's Maverick here with another episode of ReZero. So last episode, Subaru really got the worst of it, right? Well, not only him, but also all his loved ones, the people he cared for. He himself, though, getting torn to shreds by rabbits of all things. Damn. Looking back onto it, I actually feel kind of bad because I think my reaction during that scene was kind of like chuckling in a sense. Like, I'm not really laughing at him, it's just the absurdity of the situation that I'm laughing at. Like, I'm not that heartless, alright, even though I am pretty hard on Subaru all the time. But still, I think what really came out of it from last episode is we have an action plan, right? Or at least a list of to-do items that we need to do in order to pass this current stage, level, whatever you want to call it, right? So we got to make sure that Garfield he gets on the good side of Garfield. Otherwise, he's going to be a hindrance and being a giant nuisance, a pain in the butt, and he's not going to be able to really do all the other stuff that he needs to do. Subaru, I mean. So, he needs to take care of Garfield first, gain their trust, and then, of course, he needs to go back to the mansion, and I'm still waiting on him to gain the trust of Beatrice. I still think she is the key to solving the entire Elsa situation. After that, they gotta take Federica back to the sanctuary and whatnot, and then finally he needs to pass through the trials alongside Emilia. So, not necessarily in that order, but I would think that's a pretty logical order. Okay, with that being said though, at the very end of last episode, what was really fun is when Ekidona showed up, and yeah, she's basically taking the role of Emilia for right now, right? Taking care of Subaru and whatnot, probably with some of her own more personal motivations as well, but still, it's quite nice to see. I mean, I've always had a soft spot for the witches of this world, even though I haven't really learned anything about them yet. I kind of feel like they're getting a sort of a bad rap. So, hopefully, in this episode, we'll learn a little bit more about Ekidona's character, so on and so forth. Maybe Subaru's gonna get cheered up, and ready to rock and roll. So, let's get into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Hmm? Really? Oh. Yeah, that's been pretty obvious. That's kind of contradictory, isn't it? Aren't you supposed to be the witch of all knowledge? Nah. Again, it wouldn't really make sense for there to be a limit here. Leadership. Yeah, I feel like her only real goal is you, Subaru. I'll defy your expectations. Oh, okay. Betraying expectations. You got someone to talk to. Damn, she is cute. Wait, it's one rat? Oh. Really? It's... Wait, but... Yeah, okay. So, they're still by the witches. As long as one still exists, they can reproduce. Like a rabbit. But if that was the case, though, you would think those rabbits would be much more OP. Like an unstoppable force that eats everything? Who's the one keeping them in hand? Ooh, we're gonna meet some other witches. That's fun. I would have tried other ideas first, to be honest. Just like that. Okay. Hello. Oh, damn. Holy shit. Oh, there goes your. Oh, holy shit. Huh? Okay, well, I guess Akidona did say day. The... This is... Another witch? I seem to remember this is another witch, right? Or are they both? What the hell is going on? Yeah, this is another witch. Alright, and here's another one. Oh. There we go. Man, I'm in love with these witches already. Oof. Just like, what the hell? Did I? Yeah. Well, it is one of the primal desires after all. Oh, I have a feeling. Okay, never mind. Alright. So kind of like zombies in a sense. Bye bye. I kind of get the feeling that, no, if you really did create that to satiate people's hunger and whatnot, you wouldn't really be mad if people killed it. So that's how many now? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then plus Satella, that's 5. So 2 more? Bodily fluids. Yeah, it's not really sadistic. What is the condition? Oh, okay. Just like will and determination? Alright. Why do I feel like that's a lot more obvious than... I'm getting a lot of danger flags right now. Bye-bye. Where's Emilia? Okay, what now? Who is it now? I certainly don't think it's the rabbit. It's Satella? Lavu Lavu. Okay, so she's a yandere. I get it. Huh? Why though? Why? Well, in any case, this was a pretty good episode. We finally get to meet a lot of the witches. But, we'll talk more about this right after this. Okay, that was a great episode. Not in a case where we really saw any action or learned anything really new, right? Like, we learned a little bit, but I think most of all, this episode is just great because we get to see most of the witches, right? I think we literally only have 2 witches left that we haven't seen before. One is Lust and the other is... I'm not quite sure. Is it Sloth? I mean, I still can't quite match every single witch with their respective sins yet. But anyways, that was great, right? I've been saying since the beginning, and after seeing them in action, I'm saying it again. I really don't buy into this whole, oh, witches are evil and they must be eliminated. They're a threat to humanity, you know, that kind of thing, right? Now, certainly, I wouldn't say they are on the law-abiding, morally good side of things. But then again, I don't really think they are all that you know, that humanity destroying kind of evil, right? And I love that because I like stories where the lines between black and white are a little bit more blurred and it's not just so clear cut here. Indeed, I think in terms, if you look at it from an alignment chart perspective, right, where we have like lawful good, neutral good, you know, that kind of thing, I would say that the witches currently, what I've seen so far, they might fall more towards the chaotic neutral side. Like, they each have their own sort of values and things that they are determined of, and you know, that is what drives your character, right? Literally nothing else matters to them, and they're just fixated on that one simple thing here. And I think I can respect that. I might not necessarily like it. I'm not saying that people should just roll over and die to meet their expectations, but I mean, I can respect that. So definitely loving the witches and their appearance here. Now, I was kind of wondering, and I've been wondering this for quite a while now, whether or not the fact that the witches all represent a certain sin has any meaning to it. And, you know, one of the things which I feel is pretty often used is to have like a reversal, right? So for the 7 sins, there is a reversal, which is the 7 virtues. And I've been thinking whether or not it might be a case where, you know, we always say that, you know, it's in moderation, it's one thing, but once you go over moderation, it can easily turn into something else, right? It's a case of, you know, a double-edged sword or two sides of the same coin. Let's put it that way. But I can't really make a connection here, even trying to, you know, go through what their respective sins are and what their respective virtues are supposed to be. I don't really see a connection quite yet. Then again, the fact that these sins are utilized this way is already sort of a bit of a stretch. Like, for instance, Echidna being a witch of greed just because she has a greed of knowledge. Like, that is such an open interpretation, right? And not to mention, if she really was truly greedful for knowledge, she would want to know why Satella is acting that way, right? So, that's, I think more than anything else, that would make me question her witch credentials. But yeah, anyways, that was great. Get to see a lot of the other witches as well. You can even sort of kind of guess at their backstory, like, literally, I'm just thinking immediately of, you know, magical girls turned witches, you know, that kind of cliche and whatnot. Considering that most of them do seem quite young, they might have become witches very, very early on, probably going through some hardships or whatnot. Say, for instance, the Witch of Gluttony, Daphne, right? I do think that she might have starved to death or something like that, and then became more and more powerful, became a witch, something of that kind of sort, right? I'm sure that they each have their own backstories as well, and now that we have been introduced to them, potentially we'll be going through each of their respective backstories, although perhaps not necessarily in this season, right? So I don't really think any of them are just necessarily inherently evil. Daphne is kind of, you know, I'm sort of on the fence about her, since I don't think what she's saying actually really makes much sense. You know, her entire thing about, hey, I created this thing so that people can eat them and they can be, you know, they won't go hungry anymore, right? But if that was the case, then why would you be so, you know, when you actually try and allow people to actually utilize them for food, right, instead of making them so powerful to the point where, you know, it's more of a menace than anything. Like, sure, I get you need to have, you know, what can I call it? You gotta give the prey a chance to fight back, right? I can understand that, but I think that this is going a little bit overboard here. So for her, I'm a little bit iffy. The rest of them, I'm sure that even the ones that we think are pretty good right now, might have their own sort of quirks as well, including Echidna, right? So, for instance, at the very end there, with what she was doing with the handkerchief that that Petra gave to Subaru, I was kind of raising some alarm flags there. Although on rewatch, I do think it might be more a case where she's going to utilize Petra to be a projection of her power, and maybe sort of intervene into the real world a little bit. At least that's what I think. That was what she meant there in terms of saying that she might, she might interfere with things a little bit, right? So, hey, who knows? Maybe that's something that'll pop up in the end. I definitely do think that we're not supposed to be completely trusting of the witches, but I do think that all the witches, they're not unreasonable, right? They, as long as you figure out like what drives them, what their logic is, I think that you can have a pretty cordial relationship with them. Even Satella, right? So if that theory holds true, Satella can also probably be pacified, be swayed in a certain way. And speaking of Satella, though, now, what was up with that entire I love you, and then having, Ram and Petra there? So, Rem, sorry, not Ram. So, does she feed off of the energy of love? So, if we consider Ekidona's case, right, she's the embodiment of greed, but there needs to be a subject for it, right? So, it's greed of knowledge. So, if we put that into Satella and her sin of envy, so would that be envy of love? Right? I do think that there might be some sort of connection here, considering that otherwise I don't really see any point where she would be targeting Petra or targeting Rim, right? It doesn't really make sense that way. So I think for now, I think we can make a preliminary conclusion that she's probably, like, her attribute is probably being envious of love, right? So that's one thing. And the second thing is, the more that I think about Satella, the more I think, Subaru must know Satella. They must know each other in some sort of way. Otherwise, there's no reason for Satella to get Subaru, right, who comes from another world and has absolutely no relationship or whatsoever, and give him this kind of favor to allow him to continue to continue on his story, if you will. And I just can't quite shake it out of my mind that I think Satella and Emilia might be even more related than I initially thought. I mean, they're even from the very beginning, just the fact that they look very similar, that should be raising a lot of alarms off in your head, right? Considering the fact that even though if the theory of her being envious of love is true, so we saw, we saw Rem, we saw Petra, why didn't we see Emilia, right? I'm sure that there is some reciprocated feelings from her side as well, so why not her, right? And so that's one. And number two, it kind of goes in with the whole theory of they must know each other, right? Like, I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of all this, it turns out that Satella is actually Emilia, and she's just guiding Subaru to find her again. Like, maybe something happened, and then, like, Subaru literally had to redo everything from the very, 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 very beginning. Something of that kind of sort. I don't know. The sky's the limit here, right? Honestly, I don't even know if the light novel has gotten to the point where we are actually even seriously considering who Satella is yet, but I don't know. I think I can already think of a lot of juicy kind of developments here, which have to deal with Satella and have to deal with Emilia as well. Let's just say I'm very suspicious about this entire situation here. All right, but in any case, that is just speculation after all. What's important now is that they need to go back to the mansion and fight off Satella or so on and so forth, right? I mean, not really much else to say there. Hey, it's gonna be pretty fun to see actually Subaru go up against Satella for the first time. How would his ability work in this sense, though? Like, if he was literally going up against Satella, who granted him this power, and then get killed by Satella, would that reset yet again? Right? I think that's definitely something to look forward to in the upcoming episodes. So, these might be a little bit more ramble-ish, but, I've been waiting for something like this, right? To have the witches show up, to let us see and let us learn more about them, and so I can finally progress a little bit further with my theories about the entire story. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.